Look who showed up today. Just now, this is Gully Gully. Hello Gully. From home. Croft self-research and investigation on the 28th of June 2019. It is now 36 minutes past 10. We'll stay up here somewhere until around 11 o'clock. Alright, Gully? Just reached. Stunning, absolutely stunning day. It's such a privilege to be here. Oh my gosh. In one of the most cleanest areas in the world, where naturalism is still there, where the natural ground is still the way it has been for hundreds of years. Imagine this privilege of being able to come here and find it. It's honestly a sign, and that's the way I've taken this path where I'm at now. It has been an absolute sign, and everything I get, it is a sign. So I wait for this sign and this indication, which is the signal or the sign, to come to me. Like I'm sitting here now. Something happened. My journey continues. Heading to Croft 46, Arno. I'm giving the experience of how it is, for I go very slow because of my back. And it was a long decision-making process. Everything is a long decision-making process for myself, to make sure everything I do is safe for my conditions that I'm limited with, particularly my back and my hips, which is chronically escalates chronic pain if I do not care, as to why I had a breakdown in 2006, because I'd been on medication, painkillers, since I was around, literally since 12 years old, and trying to manage a condition which I was literally born with. And I decided now my way of life, after rehabilitation process in 2006 to 2007 ending, which was in Jamaica. And therefore it took me into a different frame of mind or mental state. Sorry, your mind is only a tool which we're to use correctly. That's the Croft there, Croft 46, you can see that right here in front of us. Okay? And now this is why I pursue to find a natural way to which I can live, close to nature, where nature can help me when I help nature. And I wish to just help by introducing new habitats, helping to manage and care for. Beautiful yellow flower there. Here, amazingly beautiful yellow flowers. It's so stunning here. We are to be better people in this world. We are being led on a tunnel vision, and some of these tunnel visions that we have taken, we're being led on, of which are pathways in our life, but have not allowed us to look outside of the tunnel. And when we should come out of that tunnel and really realize what the world is about. It's not about a concrete jungle, it's about this. Nature. Look at it. And these banks you see here are erosion processes which have been after people in the years have taken away the peat and left alone just to let nature take its course. And before peat there was trees, and then trees were fallen for firewood and other purposes to survive from, but not obviously in a long-term outlook way, because we're talking about 200 years, 300 years ago. And then what happened was you have the heather, which took ground and began to grow around all the root bases and tree bases and cuttings, and therefore forming this quick breakdown process and of what peat really is, because peat is formed from heather basically breaking down what's underneath the ground, and that is the formula to what my best understanding of it all is. But I do think, yes, there was no alternative fuel for people to cut peat, but I do think if we were given the chance to grow trees in a long-term outlook, trees are the only method of sustaining energy and heating. So that's my belief. After my journey through this world, seeing so many different destructive things happening. So here we've got the Croft. Okay? And this is basically where the entrance is to be. And the outlook of it all is that I'm going to stop this video and start another one. So continuing this video for fundraising, I'm at 46 Croft here. This is the bottom of it. This is the north side facing. My battery is running out on the camera. So what my aim is to put in place a way that I can manage it. I cannot manage it in this open state of land inside. There's no entrance gates. The fencing is over actually 80 years old, and I require the Croft inside to be broken down into smaller paddocks, where then I can put or introduce, for instance, the poultry, and I can introduce I'm hoping to put ducks and wild birds such as pheasants and grouse in the poultry section, and let them roam the whole section of the bottom part of the Croft here. And then where you see the two posts at the top there, which are actually an oak tree and a hornbeam, I planted those on my birthday on the 31st of May to experiment to see how growth takes of the trees. But that one there, then you would have another paddock, and that would be for polytunnels for growing vegetables, probably. I'm not saying right now, that's in the future. And then above you would have an area where you can have a home, a Croft home, and then above that you will have two lots for livestock, one for sheep and one for goats. So that is kind of an outlook, but we're talking about way in the future. Present tense, I wish nature to be given a chance and to create these new habitats. And by doing this, I've got to landscape it. This is costing some money, putting the correct drainage system that the water collects at the bottom of the Croft here, where I would have two ponds, which then can provide the water for the water birds. And also we can utilize the water from the ponds for pumping if necessary in the future. And the ponds are not huge. The ponds are basically 20 by 12 feet. Okay. Now, above now we would have the road that enters on this corner. The road has to be cut, and it goes up, and it goes like an S bend just behind where the two trees are, goes across and continues up. Now what's next is you've got to put the windbreak hedging and trees in, and then put the growth of timber or trees for the purpose of long-term survival. So you've got to put trees in that will provide posts for the Croft. You've got to put trees in for firewood, and you've got to put trees in that are hardwood, timber wood. So you can use that for cutting down, for instance, putting a new roof on, or building a wooden cottage on the Croft in the future. So this is my outlook of the whole Croft. I've designed a concept called a long-term future outlook plan for the Croft. And it is a principle of investigating. I am presently doing what I call a self-Croft research and investigation, which has been going on for about 10 years. Comprising or compiling all of what we've been in the world and around the Caribbean, and seeing different forms of farming and living and in poverty, and I've been homeless, and I think the only way now is for me mentally is to hold on close to land, put something where you don't require to survive or be reliant on a system that it's not too much for the people, although they try to be, though they can be much more for the people because we elect and we pay a lot of taxes. And this principle of my feeling now of I've gone through half of my life. I don't know if I can live another 50 years, but with my present health, I don't think so. As to why I wish to do this create this great habitat here without the livestock on it. Just put the landscaping in, put all the trees in, put the fencing in for the paddocks, and plant wildflowers and so on, and let the land mature. Give it about 8 years, 5 to 8 years, or 10 years, and I just wish to be around it during this process. And if I can manage to do this, I am really blessed and honored to do this. And that is my video for asking, please do help me make this a reality. I really hope you can help me. Even if it's £1, please. Continuing the video for fundraising, for my fundraising effort for Croft 46 Arnold. Now here at the corner of the northeast boundary is going to be the gate. Now if you look straight up the Croft here on this boundary line, there will be the windbreak tree hedgings and windbreak trees, and then the variety of trees for different purposes. This makes up a total distance or width from the boundary of about, well, it's exactly 15 meters. And then you've got the same going from this north boundary inwards, from each boundary. So you have the north, east, south, west boundary over there. Each boundary has this 15-meter area of tree growth, which I wish to put in. Then it's protected with a fencing on the inside, a croft fencing. Then you've got the road. So the road will enter through here, just about here. Excuse me. The road will enter just about through here. It will go upwards, straight up, and then turn where those, see where those two posts are, those two trees again? Okay, do you see where that first little stake is? Then a next stake right around there. Well, it will turn right and go across, and then turn left and go up the hill to the end boundary. That's basically where the road is going, okay? Now continuing for the fundraising video, if we look in front here where my finger is, just across the bottom of the Croft here, that's where the two ponds are going, okay? So as the drainage will come down the edge of the road, and you will have cross drains which will come across on the edgings of each paddock. There are 5 paddocks. So the length of this land is divided into 5 sections. I've calculated this myself for the size that is probably suitable for small scale. Well, this is not small, this is micro farming. And the livestock, if you do put any on, which I'm limiting the livestock is there to basically manage the landscape. So you've got to choose the livestock particularly for that habitat that you wish to introduce in each of these, what I call 1/5 paddock sections. And this is my concept of the whole thing. And it's like the garden at our home. It will eventually shape itself with nature working together with itself. But if you introduce an overwhelming amount of livestock which is not able to survive from that landscape which is there, or the environment is too small, and it will basically rape the ground. That's basically what it will do. And it will deplete it of everything, as what and how farming is being done in today's present tense. There are many farmers, yes, who choose to go the way I'm going now. But I wish to make this a very pronounced point that the world, it is to stop this aggressive way of everything. It is not the way of a natural way of life. We've got to learn to live more in harmony, more in balance, more in respect for the natural life. Therefore, for ourselves, each of us as an individual. Continuing the fundraising video, here I forgot to say the boundary fencing, it is all going to be deer fencing to obviously protect, because there are deer out here, and we want the trees to grow. And as we know, we're in a habitat or in an environment here close to the sea that many claim that trees are not able to grow. I am proving this differently. You've just got to put the correct species of trees in the area. And I'm going to prove that it can be done. And I've proven it at our home, and I'm going to prove it here. Now, I know I've had a lot of resistance from those infrastructural bodies that are here from the government to assist farmers. I've had a lot of resistance. And my perseverance will see me through, and I will prove a point that can go forward as a template for other micro farmers and small farmers and big farmers. But I do not believe in anything big. No, it is destructive. So as I said, deer fencing goes around, and internal the fencings for the 1/5 paddock sections, it is Croft fencing. Now also remember, I've got to figure out a way that I can open the deer fencing. I've come up with a very ingenious method with using ropes, pre-stretched line, 4mm thick, and I place them in different areas with pulleys, and I can actually pull the gate open to a 90-degree angle by staying just in the car in this mule in one place. And I'm doing this for each of the gates, except the Croft gates inside. I've got a special company in the UK called Gate Catch Limited, and they are designing a special disabled catch system that is for disabled users, and that will make it much easier for me to open those gates, though I will still do it with the strings. Okay? Basically what the strings do, I stay at a 90-degree angle to the gate at the main strainer hinge post, and then there are all the strings, and I pull the strings and it releases the latch. I pull another string and it pulls the gate towards me, and I just pull it gently and slowly. So everything comes towards me. And then when I go in, the same principle, I will pull the gate back in using the same post. So for instance here, there would be a post. I've got to stop the video. The rain is. Continuing. Here we are now, you see, now we can see those two trees I pointed out to you earlier. The top one is the one to the left is the oak Cecile, and the one to the right is the hornbeam. They mark the center of the Croft really, and they were celebrating my 50th birthday and anointing that the tenancy of the Croft, which I received on the 14th of May 2019. After 3 years of struggle to get it. Very kindly, it was contributed by a donation by a gentleman, which is the partner I'm with, my partner, Catherine. It was her ex-partner, of whom we have all become very good friends and working together and in harmony and respect for each other. And he was blessed, he is blessed to be alive at his grand age now, and he has been kind within his heart and soul to contribute this to my love for the natural environment and for wishing to create this beautiful dream, which is not a dream, is going to come into reality, for it is a possibility. It can happen with the donations each of you contribute. So we can see now how the Croft looks.